In Mr. Henderson's English class, the students were discussing the concept of bias. Sarah, a bright and outspoken young woman, raised her hand. "Mr. Henderson," she asked, "what does bias actually mean?" Mr. Henderson smiled patiently and replied, "Bias is a preconceived opinion or attitude held by someone based on their own background, experience, or social conditioning. It can be positive or negative, and it can influence our thoughts, feelings, and actions." Sarah nodded thoughtfully. "So, it's like when we make assumptions about people without really knowing them?" "Exactly," Mr. Henderson affirmed. For instance, someone might assume that a person from a certain culture is not intelligent because of a stereotype they've heard. Or, they might automatically dismiss a piece of writing from a particular author because they don't agree with their views. "That's wrong," Sarah declared, her eyes flashing with indignation. "It's important to judge people and things on their merits, not on our own biases." Mr. Henderson smiled again. "You're absolutely right, Sarah. We should all strive to be objective and unbiased in our thinking and behavior. Otherwise, our biases can lead us to make unfair and inaccurate judgments." As the class continued, Mr. Henderson provided various examples of how bias can manifest in society. He discussed the gender bias that often leads to women being paid less than men for similar work. He also highlighted the racial bias that can result in people of color being treated unfairly by the justice system. Bias is a powerful force, Mr. Henderson concluded, and it's important to be aware of its presence in our lives. We can all work to overcome our biases and promote fairness and equality. Sarah's mind was buzzing with the new information. She felt determined to be more objective in her thinking and to avoid making assumptions about people based on their appearance or background. She realized that bias could have a negative impact on her relationships, her career, and her overall happiness. As she left Mr. Henderson's class, Sarah resolved to be a more open-minded and understanding person. She vowed to challenge her own biases and to treat everyone with respect and dignity. She understood that bias was a challenge, but she was committed to overcoming it and creating a more just and equitable world.